truly. Gentlemen Nelson. Yo, bounce
Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Check That Post Podcast. I'm your host, Jen, and these are my co-hosts,
Christina, Marjorie, Queen.
And tonight's episode, we'll be talking about the 4 stages or more that women go through when a man cheats. We always having a conversation about when
Why men cheat.
why men cheat.
Mm-hmm.
What I say, when men cheat? No, we're not talking about that. I got that wrong. We're going to be talking about the 4 stages women go through when the man cheat. Mm-hmm. So we always having a conversation about why men cheat. So this time we're going to dive into what women feel when they go through finding out that their man or partner cheated on them.
Right.
And it's not just the women, it's the men when they find out their partner cheated on them.
Right.
We all go through different emotions and feelings and denial. So we're going to get into that tonight.
Yeah.
All right, who's going to go first? Because I'm tongue-tied tonight.
Well, I'll go first with one stage that I feel like women go through, and I feel like just self-blame, I feel like, is one stage that women go through. So, being cheated on, it can make you feel like, you aren't enough, or, like your partner isn't satisfied, or, they just have a desire for more than you, which all mean the same thing. But, as women, like, we have to be confident in ourselves. You have to know your partner, know your partner's wants and desires. You have to get to know each other when, you get in these relationships, marriages, whatever it may be. You have to make sure that you both are on the same page. That way, I'm not saying there's no excuse for cheating, none whatsoever. The man or the woman can absolutely let their partner know what it is that they need or want that their partner isn't giving them or isn't giving them enough of.
Right.
I feel like, everybody grown, so, you should be able to communicate. Communication is something we learn as an adolescent. So I just feel like women putting the blame on themselves, it could definitely lay a burden on the woman, just thinking that you aren't enough. But I just want you ladies to know that you definitely are enough.
And I second that.
Yes, absolutely. If the man isn't man enough to let you know what it is, or leave the relationship, if he lets you know what it is and you aren't able to fulfill those wants, needs, and desires, and you're able to walk away from it, then do so. But if they let you know that, if you're not going to fulfill these needs, I'm going to go out and get it elsewhere, then, they kind of letting you know from the jump. So if they're not doing that and they're cheating on you, then I don't agree with it at all. I don't feel like you should blame yourself unless they came to you and let you know what it was and you was okay with it. Or you was like, I'm not doing that, you can go get it somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So don't blame yourself unless you are to blame. Somebody else?
I'll say, like, just going through anger and then the denial process, like, I can't believe you did that to me, or what were you thinking, or, instantly trying to get revenge, or, hurt them as much as they hurt you.
Right.
That's a big thing too.
It is.
Because I've never done like if I was in a relationship and somebody cheated on me, I've never experienced like actually cheating back while I'm in a relationship, but I've heard a few women say that they do.
Right.
You know, they would do that. So that's a thing.
Yeah. Some women will get their lick back.
They definitely will. Yeah.
Indeed. Queen.
I would say a drawback stage, you know, where you just find yourself just not want to be around them. Sometimes you don't want to communicate. You just have that moment where, because there's so much confusion inside, so you just kind of, you know, draw back. And it's okay to draw back as long as you come out and address the situation.
Right. Right.
And
Don't
get
sweep it under
clarity
the rug.
on what has happened. You know?
Yeah.
I think, from what I understand, that a lot of women go through denial first and foremost. They deny. Can't believe that you would do this to me. And then the reality set in, and you realize that yes, he did do this to me. And then the anger sets in. And then from there, I believe the hurt sets in. Which you of course you gotta be hurting. And then from there, like she said, the blame, of course. You might want to get revenge. Some women do. Some women just be so devastated because a betrayal like that, you know, when you don't trust somebody with your life or your time, just your time, because it's something you can't get back.
Right.
You're gonna hurt. You're gonna feel betrayed. The trust is out the door. And that's one of my big things. If I can't trust you, you know, we can't be together, because if you ain't got trust, you ain't got nothing. So a lot of women go through just feeling a self-doubt. What did I do to push him that way? And girlfriend, it ain't you. He wanted to do it, and he did it. It wasn't a mistake. It was premeditated, because he had to think about it. So don't take that upon yourself. And if it's you, girlfriend, you wrong. So it ain't just women blaming the men or feeling some type of way. Men go through those same feelings and emotions we go through.
Yeah.
So they're going to feel a type of way. Is you're going to try to bargain with them, possibly. You know, you really just want to understand why.
Right.
Why? You doing everything and they still not satisfied. But that's a sign right there, they just not for you. Because if you doing everything and he still cheats, honey, quit wasting your energy. But I shouldn't say that, because I'm saying what I wouldn't accept it. That's me though. But if you don't put in your time and invested your life and children, and one thing, you don't want to stay in it just for the kids, because kids is not dumb. They hear things, they see things, and they feel things. So they're going to know something's not right between mom and dad. But if you want to work it out, you can work it out.
Yeah.
You can forgive, and it ain't going to be easy because that trust is lost. But you can work through that thing.
Right.
So I would suggest, you know, just try to work it out if you can. But if you feel like there's no working it out, that you ain't going to be able to let it go, then, you know, do what you got to do for your sake.
Right.
Don't just be in it just for the kids' sake, because them kids going to grow up. And them kids got to get gone, and you got to still be there in that situation. So, a lot of times, women go through the feeling of not feeling worthy, like she said, not feeling like you're enough. You're enough. He knows you're enough.
Sometimes they don't even know why they did it.
Right.
You know, they do it just because, which is
Right.
dumb, but they do.
Because
They can be dumb.
Yeah.
But because it's easy.
Right. It was
And they'll say, well, you was nagging me, or you made me do it. No, she ain't make you do nothing.
No.
And her, no
Yeah,
matter
what you been wanting to
nagging in the world, gonna make you go there. I don't care what the men say. No, we're not going for that. You gotta come with something better than that.
Right.
Just say you was weak, you wanted to do it,
Right.
and you did it. Point blank, period.
They gave in to temptation.
That you're not mature enough to control yourself. But that's me talking. That's just the way I feel. But for y'all women out there that love your man, you done invested all this and that, and you want to work it out, and you want to try it.
Yes.
See if it works.
Absolutely.
Maybe you can forgive and forget. A lot of women can't. But if you're willing to try, if you feel like it's worth trying, go ahead and do that. I would advise you try to work it out.
Right. Absolutely.
Because if you don't put in work and train this man the way you want him to be trained, you ain't ready to walk away and let somebody else come in and take over a trained man. Obviously, he wasn't that trained. It's like a cat or a dog. You train them to go to the pot or go outside. Let me stop. But I'm just saying, you don't put in work. So you ain't ready to just let it go. You want to try to work it out.
Right.
If you feel like it's worth it, then yeah, you got years invested. Don't give up. Don't just give up because he was stupid.
Communicate.
Talk to him. If you think you can trust him again, if you ain't gonna be questioning his every move, because let me tell you, if you decide to stay in that situation, don't be questioning his every move. Don't be going through his phone. If you're gonna let it go, then you got to let it go. If you strong enough to do that.
Right.
But if you are, that you can let that go, don't bring it up no more.
Right.
I feel
'Cause
like
at that
she
point,
should get a
you
grace
starting
period
over.
for that. Like,
Well, yeah, you know.
like she need a little time to be
Yeah.
Well, he ain't gonna be there
Yeah, I
understanding.
get that. Because, I mean, y'all still got to go through that. Like, it ain't gonna be no overnight thing. It ain't
Like
gonna be
this
no
happened.
After, we ain't finna
Like-
forget that after one day or after 2 days of talking about it. Like, it's
Yeah.
still gonna come up,
I
you
need
know.
about 6 months.
But, that's a little, it's real lengthy right now, but.
But the reality is, and it ain't funny, but we just,
It's not
we
funny
just
at all.
talking. But the reality is, if you feel like that you can carry on and get past it,
Yes.
and you're gonna act out, if you think you can stay in it long enough, you're gonna act out. You got to make sure that he's able to withstand that. Because 9 times out of 10, he ain't. But you can try it. So, see how it works.
Definitely gonna try.
Because a lot of times a woman gonna feel like I'm gonna hurt you like you hurt me. I'm gonna make you feel that pain.
Right.
But you know, at the end of the day, he ain't gonna be able to feel what you felt because he's a man. They're not emotional like we are. So that type of betrayal cuts deep for a woman. Y'all men just don't understand.
Just
You don't understand. That hurt. I mean, that's a level of hurt that, dude, I'm telling you, if you do that, don't expect no forgiveness from me.
That's the disrespect.
Well, I think the men
Yes.
hurt just like the women hurt. You know, it's might be a little bit different, but they do go through the same identical
do, and
thing that
They
we
go
do.
through it.
They're not
yes.
as easy to forgive, and
Yeah, now they
Ain't
do
nobody gonna
struggle
forget.
right there
No.
with that.
just
It's-
believe that forget part off of there. Ain't nobody gonna forget none of that. But they're not as easy to forgive
Yes.
like women are, because
Right.
some women they'll let they men just cheat over and over and over again and just
Pay
keep
it back.
forgiving them. I can't say with no consequence, but you know, if they keep doing the same thing, you know.
Well, it depends on what type of relationship that you have with your man. We've heard down through the years how some people have that open marriage relationship,
Yeah.
you know, and so that cheating comes with stipulations, and so they are only allowed to have certain women. But with me, if you're gonna do that, you may as well not get married.
Right.
Just stay single.
Absolutely.
You know, instead of just doing something like that.
That's not what a marriage is.
Yes, that's not what a marriage is, and so a lot of people want to change up, you know, the way God originally
Right.
intended for, you know, the marriage to work. But yeah, a lot of people are doing that, and but if that's the way you roll, you
Right.
know,
Rock.
do you?
Everybody's different. Some
Right.
people willing to put up with it, some people not.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, it's just different. It hits different for men. If the woman cheat, there's no forgiveness in him. I don't care what he say. He's not gonna do it. He's just not. The women, she can forgive. She ain't gonna hard forgive. She can forgive. But the men, because they feel a level of disrespect to the point where they see you as used goods. That somebody else been where they been. Where no man has ever been before. But the women feel the same way.
Right.
Like, is she giving you the best of her? And you just basically telling her your best is not good enough. That I require something more. That's hurtful.
It is.
And you should be ashamed of yourself.
Absolutely.
Definitely should be ashamed of yourself. And if you know you look at it, now some of those men, they are out there. They feel like once they possess the female, then she belongs to him and him only, and they can't even dream of anybody else, you know, being with their partner.
Right.
So, but he can forgive. I believe he can forgive. There are some real men out there that's understanding, and they want their marriage to work. Most of the time, the women will be more understanding than the man is, because a lot of times, as a female, we mix love and sex, you know, together. And just because he see her and desire to have her and sometimes take her, that doesn't mean that he loved her.
Right.
He just gave into his fleshly desires.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, a lot of times females don't think about it like that. But you gotta stop doing that thing where just because you find out that he has had an affair, that now he's in love with her. You know, she just could have been caught him at a weak time, and you know, things happen and progress, you know. But yeah, you know.
I'm not lying. No, I do agree though that don't mean he in love with the girl just because he cheated on you with the woman, you know, that don't mean he in love with her. I do agree with that part.
But now they do.
He don't have to be in love.
Now some of them do be. Some of them do.
Yeah,
Don't
they
take that
fall
for
in
granted
love.
and
Just
think
being
that they ain't. But some of them do be. They'll still be in that marriage and everything and still have a whole nother family across the town, across the street.
Yeah, see, let me say something. You teach a man how you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
So if he's out here doing this one and that one and this one, and you accept that, and just saying, I don't like that, or y'all have an argument and be mad for 3 days, and then y'all back to happy-go-lucky, you teaching him. Oh, she just be mad for 3 days. I can go do it again next week. No, we're not doing it. You're worth more than that. You deserve
Right.
better than that.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Baby, look, let me tell you. Don't go for that. Just like that car crash.
Right. Don't crash.
No, you want to go up.
Right.
And you deserve
to have somebody that's gonna love you on your level,
Right.
the way that you want them to love you. And if you got the weight to get that, then you go ahead, because people wear masks, so you don't really never know what you're getting.
Right.
You got to spend time with that person.
Right.
Interview that person like you're trying to interview for that job. Like check them out, check out their history, see how they treat their mom, their sisters,
Yes.
even their brothers.
Right.
Like see how they treat other people.
Right.
Make it mad. See how he act. Yeah, because that's where you find the truth out.
Right.
You got to find out who he is.
Right. Yeah,
And
when
if-
y'all going on them dates, ask the questions. All them questions that you be wanting to know.
Yeah.
Ask them.
But ask with the thing in mind that he might just tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to spend time with them.
Yeah.
You got to see who they are. So that's just a little tip. But I know y'all on y'all grown woman stuff, so y'all know what to do.
Right.
We just having a little conversation about it. Because it's a conversation that you hardly ever hear. At least
Yeah.
I hardly ever hear. Because everybody concerned about the man and why the man cheat. Let's talk about the pain that the woman go through
Right.
when he stupid self cheat.
And there's a lot of pain that being a female will go through. Sometimes those things are, that pain is so unbearable.
Yes.
It feels so unbearable. There's times where you could be walking throughout the day, you think you're happy, and something crossed your mind, and
Yep.
now you're feeling yourself falling down again. Or you driving by a certain area that you used to spend time in, and you know, you have a trigger there.
Yeah.
And somebody done said something. It could be a picture that you picked up, you saw, you know, or the friends that you hung around with, you know,
Tell
or
you. Song come on the radio.
yes,
Song y'all used to play all the time.
yeah,
Yep.
and
Those big old crocodile tears
yeah,
start dropping.
they start dropping, and you have to let your tears fall and be emotional. But that's the only way you're gonna be able to,
Yes.
come out of it.
Right.
If you got some true friends that'll sit down around and listen, but not so much as run and tell your business of how you
Right.
feel, but they really want to help you. You know, go around them and talk about it, because the more you talk about it,
Right.
the more you will start the healing process.
Right.
But by all means, don't deprive yourself from being able to shed those tears, throw tantrums.
Yeah,
you know, if you want to stay in the house and the room is dark, by all means do that. You know, that's your time, because you got to process this
Right.
whole situation. Because before you found out, said things, things was on the up and up, so you thought you was on your merry way, you was doing things, and you was happy, perhaps you didn't know that there was a problem that existed in the relationship. And a lot of times where it goes wrong is we get so comfortable in that person that's supposed to be our mate, that they so cunning and they so sneaky and all of that stuff that goes on with what's the rest of them, y'all call out some, and they will if you're not careful, you won't see it, you'll miss a lot of what they're trying to do.
Right.
Or they'll start saying it ain't nothing, or we're just talking, but we know
Yeah.
that you can say it's nothing, or we're just talking, we're just friends or whatever. You still gotta watch that kind of type of relationship,
Yeah.
because if you don't, you'll find yourself in a situation, and you don't want to hurt anybody. So we still got to make sure that we got ourselves together as well.
Yes.
But it's very hurtful, and we all know that as grown people, that when you lose somebody, when there's a cheating going on, it's like a death takes place. You go through the same way you go through the emotions of when somebody physically leave here. You cry, you mope, you depressed, you sad. You're that same identical way, because once you mating with somebody, you become one with that person. You know, so it's just like your very being is you're connected to them. And so once that is broken, well, you're gonna feel all the sadness, the depression, and just you feel like you're in a dark room because you can't figure out why this person would do this to you. So yeah, it's kind of like a death that has taken place in your life, and now you either gonna go back and try to figure it out, work it out, talk it through, and see if you can bring life in a different form, or you gonna allow it to stay dead and move on.
Yes, and just like a death, you gotta grieve. You got to get all that pain and that hurt if you want to move on and have a relationship going forward. You gotta grieve. Go seek counseling if you're trying to work it out.
Right.
You know, give it a chance. Both of y'all go to counseling. Maybe you can work it out. Maybe you can get past it. It ain't gonna happen overnight. It ain't gonna happen in a month. It ain't gonna happen in a year. 'Cause it's always gonna be in the back of your mind. Every time he leave the house, you gonna be clocking where he go and when he come back. Like, you don't want that kind of stress in your life.
Right.
You don't.
So get to counseling so
Yes,
it won't.
they'll help you work through it.
Yeah, that'll help you work through it because you don't. It's got to come to a point sometime in your life that when that person is out of your sight, that's not in the back of your head.
Right.
So you gotta, if you get to counseling, you can build the trust back.
And we don't condone violence, but you got my permission to go upside. Never mind. I'm just keeping it light. I feel for you. I really do. If, like I said, if you can work it out, try to work it out. Because especially if kids is involved, like they need both of their parents, especially nowadays. They need both of y'all. So both of y'all be in a responsible position and don't do it. First of all, to avoid all that, breaking up your home unnecessarily.
Right.
But if it has happened, or if you think it might be happening, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. You don't deserve it. He don't deserve it. Just get through it the best way you can.
Pray about it.
Yeah, definitely seek God.
Yeah, definitely gotta seek God.
'Cause He'll help you and keep you from going that route where you want to go upside the head.
Right.
Or getting that revenge.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But wouldn't it just be nice to have that mate say, you know, what they feel, if they seen something, a picture, or they got a visual in their mind, what they want to foreplay, you know, role play with. And he said, okay, well, put the mini on, put your high heels on. Do you have this way or that way? You know, wouldn't it be better if they just changed it up a little bit and say, hey, baby, let's change it up a little bit. You know,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
And both of y'all into it.
Right.
I mean,
but
it's
even
like torture.
But even if you wasn't into it, just so because I'm you know, think about it. Like, if you've been with your mate for a long time, and you were, let's say, a certain size, and so if you got him being a certain size,
Right.
but then the babies came, you know, and then so you didn't get the weight back down like you used to be. Well, you know, his mind might wander off. Don't mean he don't love you, but he's looking at you from when you all first got married, and especially if he still has the same physique, you know. So why wouldn't it be better to just say, okay, well, you know, I'm not into this, but because, you know, you used to, this is how we were when we were together. You know, I don't mean we gotta be like little rabbits humping, but, you know, at some point you gotta be like, okay, let's do this and see, you know, spice it up a little bit.
And
you
it
know?
might not be doing exactly what they want you to do, but
Right.
take a baby step.
Yeah,
at
take a
least,
baby
like,
step.
You know,
Right.
just do something.
I think that comes with I think that comes with keeping things hot. And people change.
Yeah.
Desires change.
Right.
Like she said, men are visual creatures. Creatures. They're gonna want to see things, do things. And he could be on the internet, on OnlyFans or something, be getting turned on by that. Who knows what turn them on? But anyway, if that is the case, put on your nurse's outfit, like she said, your heels, like you know what to do. We ain't gotta tell you. We ain't gotta go there. You know what to do. Turn your man on. Just do it.
Yeah.
If you feeling it, maybe you're not feeling him.
Right.
Like maybe you want him to
Not
dance
the
and put on some speedos, whatever. Like work it out. Try to work it out. Try to bring that fire back.
Right.
Like if you can. But if the desire is not there, then hey, by all means. What's the point of y'all being together? Like marriage, love and marriage is not all about sex. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But that's a great big part of it.
Right.
And if he's looking elsewhere, trying to find whatever it is to turn him on, then if you do everything that you can and you know that you've done everything that you can do, sometimes you just gotta let it go. Sometimes you just gotta be okay, like you don't desire me no more because I done gained weight, or that's one of the big things, or whatever the case may be. Then baby, you're enough for somebody.
Right.
Trust that. So if he no longer wants you, guess what? Somebody did.
Somebody else.
Somebody.
That's right. Somebody did.
A whole heap of them.
That's right. And they will find you. You ain't got to go looking for them. You just continue to work on you and know that you are enough. You beautiful the way you are. And if he married you and he loved you the way you was, 10 years later, he's still expecting you to be the same size. If he loved you regardless of what size you is.
Absolutely.
Like if y'all both got to get in the gym or work out at home, whatever you got to do that. If you don't like working out, don't want to work out, then watch what you eat.
Yeah.
Like go for a walk.
Right.
And then y'all get each other involved. Don't you just take on that. He got to take on some responsibility too, because I'm sure he ain't the same size.
Yeah.
Like maybe you don't desire him the same, but you still,
Right.
going with the flow.
I think a good idea though, I know this is a little bit off topic, but just kind of like just doing a refresher, like maybe like every 3 months, just say, go to your partner and just be like, hey, is there anything that I'm doing or not doing that I could be doing better? Like just going to your partner, just both of y'all letting each other know. You have your turn to let him know, and he have his turn to let you know what it is that both of y'all can work on. And both of y'all got to come into it open-minded, though. You can't go in and everything that they tell you be like, oh, I ain't doing that. Nope, I ain't doing that. Nah, No, you got to go into it open-minded, wanting to better your relationship with your partner. So if that's not your mindset, then don't even worry about doing that. If you just doing it just to nag, don't even worry about doing it. If you just doing it just so your partner can change and you don't have to change, don't worry about doing it. It has to be mutual. You both have to work together. But I think that's a really good idea, just to keep it going, like just to make sure that you're both always satisfied.
You got both of y'all got to be willing to try. And when you go to him and have that conversation with him, 9 times out of 10 he gonna say, well, ain't nothing wrong, everything's fine. And you can go years in a relationship with somebody thinking that they're happy, and then all of a sudden out of the blue they want a divorce. They want to go get with somebody else. And all along they knew they wasn't happy, but they wasn't speaking up. You shouldn't do that either, because you wasting her time and your time. So if you're not happy in your situation, have that conversation. It's hard conversation, but you need to have that conversation. Don't waste your time. Don't waste her time. Like, and don't you waste his time. Life is too short for that.
Way too short.
And even if you got kids, you're not happy with this man or you're not happy with this woman, y'all need to come to an understanding and co-parent. Like, there's no need spending years and years and years with this person. And over here sneaking off doing this person, and then she's sneaking off doing that person. You know how much
kids watching it.
How much disease is in the mix of that, and you putting her life at risk, and she putting your life. Who got time for that? Who got time for that?
Yep. And another thing is not just cheating through sex, but it's the conversation, the things that you do for it. You might be on the game all the time, you know, making her feel like you don't want to be bothered with her, you know, like the game is more important. Hanging out with the fellows, you know, just finding something else to do other than spending time, you know, with your mate. So it's a lot of things, or working too much, you know, so you don't have to spend that time. So you do have to do the communication thing. And keep the communication all the time. You got to keep it up there because none of us are mind readers. And we don't know what you saw when you rode home on the, you know, in the car, you know, to get here. We don't know, you know, what you was looking at. So, you know, let us know, you know, what you want to do, you know, what you like. Make sure you keep that out there, you know. Don't be doing the crazies, you know, expecting somebody to just know. And what kind of day you having, you know.
In
all
other
of that
words,
matters.
communicate.
Yeah, communicate.
Keep that line of communication open.
Yeah.
Because if you don't keep it open, you be assuming all kind of stuff. And they looking at you one way, and you thinking they thinking one thing, and they may not even be on their mind. Like, ask them what they looking at. Open your mouth and talk to each other. Go on date nights.
Right.
You can't be too busy to take out time for each other. Marriage and relationships is work. I don't care what nobody tell you. You're looking on the internet and everybody just looks so happy. No, they working. They ain't telling you.
It ain't easy.
But they working. So be willing to put in that work. You gotta choose each other every single day. Choose to love him and he choose to love you every single day. Every single day. Okay?
Every hour.
It's work.
And like Margaret said, like she said, being on that game or working the long hours and stuff, don't be trying to avoid it. Sit down and have that conversation, man. It's gonna be so much easier when you sit down and have the conversation versus you trying to avoid it every day. Like, think about trying to come home and avoid the person that you gotta lay in the bed beside every day. Come on, man. Just have that conversation.
Yes. And nowadays, whew, y'all need each other because things is ridiculous out here. So to know that somebody got your back no matter what, that's a good feeling. You have his back and he got your back. And y'all got each other. And God got y'all. So we ain't gonna forget about God.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
But we just want to have that conversation. Anybody got anything else they want to add to that? Well, I guess we'll move on to the dear Jens because we got a couple of them. Yes, you got this. Yes. Put in that work. Dear Jim, I cannot believe I missed the signs. How could he do this to me? I am completely heartbroken and feel so betrayed that he cheated on me. When I tell you I did and tried everything I could, man, I don't know what else I could have done better. Why me? Girl, I feel you. That's what I'm saying. You can miss the signs. You be so focused on other stuff and you're not focused on your partner. You will miss signs. You know, you got to ask. And women will, when they're going through that denial or disbelief, they be asking, is there anything else I could have done? Is there anything I could have done better? Yeah, you could have focused. You could have paid attention. But then, don't get me wrong now. I'm not saying that was an excuse for him to go do what he did. That's not what I'm saying. But do your part.
Exactly.
Whether he's doing his part or not, you do your part. So
before
that way,
it starts.
Yes.
Do your part before he even got the opportunity.
So that way you know you did everything that you knew to do.
Absolutely. Great
And
answer.
if your doing everything that you know to do was not enough for him, then that's his problem. Somebody gonna appreciate it.
All right.
Anybody else got anything on that one? I'll go on to the next.
You did,
Oh, okay.
you did good.
I think I cut this one off. Dear Jim, I don't know about the 4 stages, but I do know from experience that I went through at least 2. And they were grief and regret. I grieved my husband, but regretted my marriage. It took a long time for me to be able to come to grips with that and understand that everything is according to plan. And I cut the rest of it off. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But she said she grieved her husband, but regretted her marriage. Wow.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm laughing.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
That is
I-
deep.
yeah.
I don't really have any regrets in life. I don't want to have any regrets in life. I feel like everything is a lesson or a blessing, and your marriage, it was just a lesson for you. You know, maybe you'll get married again and you won't go through the same things that you went through this marriage, because that's not how a marriage is supposed to go. So, you know, your husband, he broke that vow. You know, if y'all, well, did it say anything? But
You know, she said she took a long time to come to grips with.
yeah, I don't know if
understanding.
y'all still together or not, but you know, hopefully y'all are in a better place to where he's not cheating anymore. And if that is still an issue, hopefully y'all can seek whatever counseling or whatever that it is that y'all might need, communicate a little bit more, whatever it takes, if you guys want to hang in there and stick it out together. If you guys aren't together anymore, good for you for being able to walk away from that situation knowing that, you know, you put your all into it and your partner didn't do the same. So, like I said, hopefully you'll get married again one day, and your new husband, if you're not already married already again, you know, he won't do the same thing your last husband did. So I wish you well with that.
I can relate, you know, well, not relate, but understand where she coming from. Cause it's like maybe she's grieving what she thought her husband was gonna be, and regretting the marriage because it ain't turned out the way you thought it was gonna turn out. Because a lot of times women like to plan to the end, and men like to just do stuff spare the moment.
For now.
So it's like I can understand where she coming from.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. Next. Dear Jim, I had a situation with a coworker last year. We've since moved forward, but the pain is still present. He doesn't trust me as far as he can see me, and probably never will. Can you offer advice on how to earn that trust back? I promised him I'd never do it again, and I meant it. Please advise. Situation? No, I guess that means you cheated
With the coworker.
with the coworker. Yeah. Well, the good thing is you moved forward, and you did give your word that you wouldn't do it again, and you say you meant it. So just move forward. If he's willing to forgive and try to forgive, then you forgive yourself and try to forget and move forward, like you said.
Or work from home.
Right. Get another job, you know. Just don't put yourself in the position to do the same thing again. Or don't put yourself in the position that'll even make him think that you're going to do it again. If you were working in the same area as that coworker, get on a different shift or something. Like, do something to try to make him realize that that's not going to happen again. You got to, just like we want them to make us feel confident that they're not going to repeat, you know, their pattern of cheating. You know, men want the same thing from women, so we got to do the same thing. If it's us that's cheating, you know, we got to do the same exact thing to make him feel like we're not going to do this again, that we mean what we say, you know, that we just gonna stick by our word. You know, you gotta make him believe that, just like we want the men to believe us.
Right. And you got to think about it. If you still in the same place where you're going to work every day, leaving your husband and going to this place, you got to know that's in the back of his mind, because you're going to face this person every single day that you go to work. So that's got to be hard on him. So the best thing in that situation, like she said, get on a different shift or get another job, because you don't want to leave that, because how you gonna forget it if it's always in his face? Like that's hard.
Every time you go to work.
Yeah, but good luck.
Yeah.
Got one more. Okay. Wow, this one's. Dear Jen, my husband cheated on me with a man. It was the most hurtful, devastating thing in the world for me. It has been 5 years and I'm still seeking understanding. I'm no longer with him, but neither can I trust another man. I want to love again, but how do I move on? That's hard. Wow. Pray.
Yes.
Pray and pray again. But you can't love again.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, all men do not cheat, and
Right.
all men
Are not the same.
aren't on the DL.
Yes.
You know, that was very, very coward of him, and it's not your fault.
Yeah. And he should have been honest
Right.
when you all got together, because apparently something took place, whether it was in his younger child years, or something took place for him to be found in that spot, because generally most men that have an encounter like that, if something has already happened to them, they don't just normally just say, oh, well, I think I'll try, the
Right.
same gender loving, They,
I feel like it's something that's already within them that they want that, because I don't believe that a child is born, a male child is
Right.
born, but this is my opinion, that a male child is born with that desire for another male. I don't believe that. But if y'all are married and he has this desire for a man, why didn't he just end the marriage and say, I got to go be my true self?
Right.
Why did this have to happen? That he put you in a position to where you no longer trust a man, but you want this, but it's hard for you to move on. Like that is devastating. And I hope, and it's been 5 years and you're still struggling with it, you
Right.
have to seek counseling.
Right.
You have to talk that out. And don't you feel bad for it, because you're not the one that did that.
Right.
You will find love again. You will find somebody that can love you for you. But when you do, you got to let that go. Release that
Right.
before you find them. You go ahead and work on you. Release that, let that go, because you cannot put that pressure on your incoming relationship, because you
Right.
would drive that person away.
Right.
Every man is not the same.
Right.
And every man don't desire another man.
Right.
That was just something within him that he wanted.
Absolutely.
So good luck, and I hope you do find someone else to love soon. That's all I have on that.
I got a question though. Something I just thought about while you were talking, or might have been while you were reading over there. No, what was while you were talking? What percentage of men do y'all think really come to their woman and be like, "Hey, babe, let me talk to you for a minute. I did this." Just tell on themselves, and just be like, "I cheated, with such and such. It happened, only this one time. It'll never happen again." Without the woman actually just finding out, like, you know, going through the phone or whatever, or somebody telling her or whatever, seeing it with her own eyes, you know, whatever it may be. Not the woman just finding out, but the man actually just telling on himself, like just.
I ain't gonna lie, for me, I've never had a problem with somebody confessing what they did. I guess maybe I'm just very approachable, and they think, well, I could just talk to her about anything. I don't know, but I never had a problem with somebody like keeping that secret. They always like felt bad, so that it's like they just told me.
So they did tell you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe there are men, real men that does that.
I mean, it still hurt to hear it.
Right.
Yeah,
But,
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But they do it, sometimes they'll do it different, and that's, when they do it, it'll be something like, they'll come to you and they just, talk about how much they love you and adore you, and you the only one for them, you know, stuff like that there. And so they kind of would leave you sometimes thinking of what is going on here. You know, what has happened that you know, you saying all this stuff. What have I done, or what haven't, you know, that you want, what you want from me, you know. And so those are a lot of the time they're gonna come at you first and say all the stuff, and I guess to kind of feel how you know, how you taking them. And if you come back out, you know, talking out the side of your neck, you know, about the situation, then a lot of times it'll hold them back. But the first thing they gonna want to do is start telling you, you know, what they think about you and how they so grateful that y'all together, won't nothing ever part from you. They so thankful to God Almighty, you know, that you the
What you
one,
want.
you know.
Or what you done did.
Yeah.
Or during an argument or something, and they just, you know, release it and just be like, that's why such and such and such and such. I think women might be quicker to do that than the men, though.
Well, we all need to be an adult and handle that in an adult way. And if you're gonna cheat, don't get married. If you're gonna cheat, don't be in no serious relationship. Go out there and do your thing. Like that's what most people doing. You know, seeking this and this. Go out there and live your best life, but don't drag somebody else hurt, pain, feeling, make them go through all that unnecessary grief, drama. Like. People get hurt during situations like that. You don't want that. You don't want to be the cause of somebody doing that.
And not just emotionally hurt, physically hurt as well. So when you start playing with somebody's feelings and stuff, you know, people really take that. Some people really take that serious. You know, it's like they feelings the only feelings that matter. Your feelings don't even matter to some people. So once you hurt their feelings, it's like the whole world done ended. So you got to be careful with how you treat people.
Right. Well, could this just be an American thing where, or only in America that you could just have one, and you don't get to have two? Like there are some countries that have more than one, and so that's their custom. That they can have more than one. Over in America, it ain't so over here, but it's not wrong in the where the people are in their country. And then if we go all the way back, in the biblical times, some of them had lots of wives and concubines and all that. But I think over in America, you know, we put a lot of emphasis on the relationship, you know, part of it. And every now and then we will run by somebody that's, you know, got 2 or 3. And, but I always say, like, to me, men and women should only can have enough time to handle each other, let alone having a second or third, and then you gotta put your slot in. Well, this night you gonna do this, or and she or he gonna be with you that night or whatever. You know, I don't know how I would be able to deal with all that.
Yeah.
That's a lot right there.
Yeah.
Well, the Bible speaks of men having one wife. But I do know, like you said, in other countries it is so, and back in the days it was so. But long as they know about it and they know about each other, they not sneaking around and doing all that stuff. And if that country allows that, move to that country and do that. Don't try to do that over here. Stop hurting these women.
Yeah.
And women stop hurting
That
these
didn't sign
men.
up for it.
Right. If they sign up for it, okay, y'all
Right.
do y'all.
Yeah,
But for
fair
the ones
game.
that didn't,
Right.
stop playing with them.
Exactly. And vice versa. You women stop playing with these men too.
Right.
Yeah, definitely that.
And go live your best life.
Yes.
All right.
This has been another episode of Check That Post Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Check That Post Podcast and on YouTube at Check That Post Pod. Hit the like and subscribe button so you know every time we upload a new episode. Write a Dear Jen letter to Dear Jen at Check That Post. Nope. Write a Dear Jen letter to Check That Post Pod at gmail.com. Or text 866-311-2251. Thank you.